So one of the special uses of the subjunctive that we see all the time in Latin is the purpose clause. A purpose clause is a clause that begins with the phrase in order that, in order to, or so that something happens. You do one thing in order for another thing to happen, or you do something so that something else will happen. Here's the formula for a purpose clause. You start with a main clause. That's the clause that can stand on its own. In the example here on the board, it's always some version of me killing a king. I kill the king is the main clause right here. I kill the king. That's the main clause. Then you have the word ut, which means in order that. Or if it's in order that something not happen, a negative purpose clause, instead of ut, you have ne. Ut means in order that, ne means in order that not. And then you have a subordinate clause that uses a verb in the subjunctive. And just like most of the special uses of the subjunctive in the subordinate clause, purpose clauses follow the rules of sequence of tenses. That means the type of subjunctive you use will depend on whether your verb is in primary or secondary sequence. If you remember from learning the sequence of tenses, another thing you have to take into account is whether your subordinate clause with a subjunctive is expressing events that happen at the same time plus to your main verb, either at the same time or future time to your main verb, or if they happen before your main verb. In a purpose clause, you don't really have to worry about that because everything in a purpose clause happens subsequent to the main verb. If you're doing something in order to do something else, in order for something else to happen, that in order can't happen before the events of the main verb. So you're always in same time plus, unless you're messing with some kind of weird time travel discussion, but we're not going to go there. So let's look at a couple examples of purpose clauses in the primary sequence and then a couple examples of purpose clauses in the secondary sequence. Hopefully that will give you a good sense of how to form purpose clauses in Latin. Our first sentence here says, I kill, that's the verb interficio, I kill the king, ut. Ut sort of is like an alarm bell should be going off in your head. Oh, maybe this is a purpose clause. In order that. And then you have two words here. This word means the citizens, and this word means I save. It's a present subjunctive. I kill the king in order that I may save the citizens. And we use the present subjunctive because with the subordinate clause following sequence of tenses, in primary sequence, with same time plus events, you use the present subjunctive. And that's going to be true no matter what tense in the primary sequence your main clause is in. So we have this other sentence, which is, I will kill the king, future, so that I don't save the citizens. So in order that I don't, nay, save the citizens. I guess in this scenario, I'm evil and the king is good, and I kill him so that the citizens, don't find some kind of relief, I guess, from whatever we're going through. Even though this is a different tense than interficia, this one's present and this one is future, they're both in primary sequence, and both of the subordinate clauses are expressing same plus time, events that happen after the main verb in this case. So the subjunctives used are the same in the subordinate clause, even though the main verb is not the same. That's a key point I want you to take away here. Now let's see how this works in secondary sequence. This is an imperfect verb. I was killing the king in order that I may save the citizens. Same situation, we have same plus time because we're in a purpose clause and it's always same plus time. So, but in secondary sequence, for same plus time, the rule is that you use an imperfect subjunctive. So servorum is the imperfect subjunctive. And again, that's going to be true no matter what tense in the secondary sequence we're using. So this is imperfect. It could have been perfect or imperfect. And then this is pluperfect. I had killed the king in order that I may not save the citizens. And again, save is imperfect subjunctive because of all the reasons we outlined. So it's pretty simple, but they're very common, so it's important to familiarize yourself very closely with purpose clauses.